Hello. For my learning resource presentation, I chose an online tool called MindMeister, which is similar to PowerPoint in that it allows you to create presentations. It's also open as far as text goes and pictures and things like that. The difference, though, is in the templates, and I'm going to walk you through and show you some of these templates now. There's a lot of different categories. There's education category, which is very good for us. And the one that I chose is called the project plan, which I thought was really relevant for us with our training modules. So that's the one that I worked with the most, and that's the example I'm going to show you guys, just to get you a little bit familiar with MindMeister and its different features and the advantages of it. So this one here is called the lesson plan, but again, I'll just walk us through one of them, just in terms of having enough time to show everything. So this one is called the project plan. Just takes a second to load here. So here it is, and again, one of the advantages of this compared to PowerPoint is in that instead of having multiple slides show all this information, you can show everything in one shot, all open like this. And I'm going to show how you can change the text here, and this is what I'm calling the training module. One feature up here you'll see is to add a new, I guess they call them ideas, but they're kind of like branches. So you can add it from an existing one, or you can create a new one coming off the training module. This tool here is called the connector for, they call it relationship, basically showing the relationship between the different ideas. So if you have a connection from the individual here, which they call stakeholders, and the limitation section over here. And again, this is how the template's set up. This is how it is from scratch. But I'm going to go ahead and make some changes here to the text. Again, just to make it a little more personal, I'll have it called individuals involved. And I'm also going to go ahead, and these terms will be familiar to us in terms of our training module. This one I'll call the client, and then I'll have two for the two different types of personas. And again, this is just to give you a feel for how this is set up, for how you can change the text, different things like that. So just filling in a little bit here. And next I'm going to show you then the different features as far as the text and the different styles you can do. And what's really cool coming up is I'm going to show you the notepad over here, which is really convenient. So for this one I put in assistant instructor, because let's say I was thinking about adding an assistant instructor but not quite sure if I want to. So first thing I'll do, go over here, you can do different styles. So I chose a yellow, so that stands out. And I'm also going to have a note over here. Just check to see if an assistant instructor is possible for my training module. So that, as soon as I type it and click away, will automatically get added to the frame there. Another thing you can do is set priorities. So I'll go ahead and put this as priority 1, meaning it's the most important thing. And with the priority, you can also put what percent completion it's at. You can also set a due date, and because this is a collaborative program, collaborative software, collaborative online tool, you can go ahead and say, I want to assign it to this particular person. Now, I'm the only one who is assigned to this project, so I'm going to be the only choice, but I chose to force myself. So now I can check on this and I can see the status that I'm at, and I can see who it's assigned to, the due date, etc. That'll all be right there. Now the convenience of this is that when I invite someone else to collaborate with me on this project, they'll go ahead and they'll see, okay, this is being taken care of by Jared Foley. They can see when he's expected to complete this, And if they have any extra notes, they can add an additional note, they can add onto it. Let's say I have assigned somebody else to do something with it, they can go ahead and take care of that themselves too. So the next thing I mentioned is you can add a new idea. Let's say if you already have all of these spots taken up and you have, something else you want to add to this for the training module. So the next thing I thought I would add would be the analysis reports in terms of doing our pre-training work. So I went ahead and created one category, which is the analysis reports, and then I can do kind of sub-ideas or sub-branches. So this one would be the learning analysis, and I'll add another one, which would be, let's say, the trainee analysis, which we're all familiar with. And I can go ahead and assign priorities then to these ones too. So I'll just say priority 1 for the learning analysis and priority 2 for the training analysis. And in doing that, that doesn't change anything as far as this. See, that's still priority 1, so that hasn't been affected at all. The next thing I want to show is how to create a relationship between one idea and another. And so I'll take it back to the assistant instructor idea I had earlier. I'm going to go ahead and connect that. I click on that and I clicked up here to this third icon in, and I'm going to connect it to the budget over here. Because with an assistant instructor added, I would have to then consider all the extra spending involved with that, so that immediately will affect the budget, in particular the personnel. And the nice thing about MindMeister is that you can go ahead and add a label immediately, and I also went ahead and changed the color to red because that'll stand out more on this background. So I have assistant instructor equals more spending. So what that does is that creates for the next person who's going to collaborate on this, who's going to look at this, they'll see, okay, that's already set up. They'll understand exactly why there's a connection there. And the next thing I want to show is how, keep talking about sharing, how you can actually share this then with someone else. So you go down here, you click on share, and then it opens up sharing settings, and you can change it from private to shared and invite people. And then it'll allow you to then type an email address in here, and if you want to include a message, that's optional. So I went ahead and invited myself by inviting my other email address, just to give an example. And I want to make sure you show that you can edit or view, because you can also invite someone just to look at it if you don't want them to be able to make any changes. But because I want this to be more of a collaborative project, I'll say can edit. You can also have the link right there too. So now you'll see at the bottom it'll say that this project is shared and currently editing, and it'll say that I am the only one who is able to edit right now. And one last thing I want to show, again I mentioned that this is similar to PowerPoint, is the ability to create a presentation. And the nice thing about MindMeister presentations is that everything is laid out. It's not broken down into different slides, so it makes it a little easier. And so you go ahead and you click on, let's say, the title, and then I want the next one to be the individuals involved section there, and it's as simple as that. And you can also choose different transitions. There's a few here. There's pan, blur, slow zoom, fast zoom. So not too many options compared to something like Prezi, which we saw a presentation on before. That is more presentation based. But this one I think is good for, again, for just collaborators, just with whoever you're working with to share things like that, to share different ideas. So yeah, so this is pretty much MindMeister. Again, I didn't get a chance to explore a whole lot given the time, but I hope that you guys got kind of a little sample of it and can see its relevance with instructional design and training. And go ahead and check it out. I think it's pretty relevant and pretty useful. So thanks guys for listening and for watching this.